Good afternoon, everybody. We can't believe it. This morning was 51 degrees and rain. We had the heat running. Now it's 72 degrees and the sun's shining again. So
welcome to Northern Michigan.
For sure, we thought we were into spring permanently. We had the windows open the last few nights, every night. But anyways,
and it was warm at night. Yucky.
That happens. If you notice one thing you can't hear right now, those of you that follow us a long time will know what you can't hear right now. I got a video about that. Probably won't get it up till tomorrow because it's 13 gigabytes, which is 4 times normal size because I use a good quality camera. Anyways, guys, you all know that my best buddy Ken passed away on May 15th, and it's been a pretty crappy 9 days for both of us here. Both mood swinging up and down, really, and especially when I went over to his house Saturday to try to find Mr. Buddy, and I couldn't. We wanted to tell you Buddy's backstory because we feel a big sense of obligation to Ken, to Buddy especially. Ken and I openly talked about it was quite obvious the cat was going to outlive Ken. He was 79 years old. He knew that. I knew that. We talked openly and freely about him passing. It made it better for both of us. He accepted it a lot more. But Tracy wants to tell you how we became involved with Buddy about 2 years ago right now. Maybe it was April. Something like that.
Several years ago, we were taking care of a colony of feral cats at the apartments in the village. And we were trapping them, getting them neutered, re-releasing them. And we knew some people that lived in the apartment complex that helped us with feeding them and stuff like that. Well, there was a person that we knew that lived in the apartments that had the cat.
Buddy.
They moved out and left Buddy in the colony and just abandoned him there. Well, Buddy wasn't an outside cat. He was not part of the colony. He was kind of on his own. So he was a very sweet cat. He was a nice guy. He would come up to you. Just a nice cat. And we decided to pull him out because he wasn't a colony cat. And we asked Ken if he might be interested in taking Buddy. And Ken had never had a cat before, and he wasn't really sure at all if he wanted a cat. So he finally said, if you guys can get him, why don't you bring him over here and I'll give it a shot.
But we also we paid for him to be fixed.
After that.
No, we fixed him before we took him there.
Yes, I know, but
that's what I meant.
Ken, said, if you guys, maybe I'll give it a shot. So we ended up getting Buddy. We brought him home. We took him and got him fixed. We let him recover. And then, hi Willow. And then after he was recovered and ready to go, we took him over to Ken and
got litter boxes and stuff too.
Yeah, litter boxes, food, went over it with him, what he had to do, and Ken fell in love with that cat. He would always say, I've never had a cat before. He's a cool cat. He's a nice cat. And he was. He was just mellow. He wasn't all full of hell like a kitten is, so he wasn't too much for Ken to handle. He was just a sweet, sweet cat. And that's why we feel so responsible, not just because, of everything that's happened with Ken, but, we rescued him once, and now it's our job to rescue him again.
Absolutely. And the horrible thing, guys, the night before Ken passed, he had been really bad on Thursday. Friday, he was horrible. My neighbor Chuck and I agreed we're calling an ambulance, at least get them to come over to check him out. Maybe they can see what's going on with him. Well, they took him to the hospital. And probably around 5 o'clock that afternoon, I don't know why I didn't get the call, but I got a voicemail from Ken. And when I went to listen to the voicemail, Ken wasn't saying a word. The voicemail was the doctor telling Ken his diagnosis, that he was terminal. Holy crap, guys. Who does that? Did he do it accidentally? Did he do it purposely? I'll never know. A few minutes later, maybe within a half hour, I would say,
Yeah.
Ken called me and said, Mike, can you come and get me? I want to go home. And I got to the emergency room and I went in the room with him, and the doctor came in, and coincidentally it was this guy named Dr. Marty. He's treated me a couple times for my eye injuries at the emergency room, but really nice doctor. Asked Ken if he had his permission to tell me everything that was going on. Ken said absolutely. So Dr. Marty told me that he was terminal. We were like, oh my God. Chuck and I, my neighbor, were like relieved that day that finally Ken was going to get some treatment and hopefully he would get to feeling better, and all of a sudden this bombshell. So anyways, Chuck and I took him home, got him in the house, made him comfortable and all that stuff, and I went outside. A couple of the neighbor ladies showed up and they were in getting him comfortable. While they did that, I went out and started calling Buddy, because I really wanted to get Buddy in the house in case something happened, because I knew where we would be right now was where we are right now. Couldn't find him. Told the neighbors what was going on. Unfortunately, this is really crappy too. The next morning, I woke up at about 8:30, turned on my police scanner. Less than 10 minutes later, I heard the call for him passing. Holy crap. Well, I hadn't even turned my phone on then. Right after that, I turned my phone on, and I had a message from Ken at 5:45 in the morning. Could not understand a single word he said. I talked to the neighbor, Doug, today, who's feeding Buddy right now. He's the one that found Ken on the floor, and he had his phone on the floor next to him. Oh my God, I'm thinking I'm the last one he called. I'm thinking probably.
Yeah.
But anyways, fast forward, after Ken's passing, I heard from his daughter on Saturday or Sunday, the day he passed or the day after. Well, then I didn't hear from her again until Tuesday. She tells me she wants the cat. Mind you, I've never met her before, only talked to her the one time prior on phone. She sounded really nice, very sincere, very upset, as you can understand. Tuesday, she tells me she'll meet me over at the house on Wednesday. Well, Wednesday rolls around, I sit here all day. Later in the day, finally get a call, hey, I can't make it today, and she's a mess. Okay, yeah, it's understandable. That happened on Wednesday, that happened on Thursday, that happened on Friday, and then again on Saturday. And I was like, I came up with a plan. I know a way I could have got Buddy into Ken's trailer had I been given permission. Well, she said, Mike, do whatever you got to do. Well, long story short, I could get into the trailer, but I needed to know for a fact that she would answer the phone if someone saw me going in the trailer, because a lot of the neighbors over there are older. They've seen my car but don't know who I am. So can you imagine, here I am going through the way I knew how to get in. And I would have the cat carrier with me, so it would be quite obvious I was trying to get the cat in the house. But anyways, they called the police, and I needed to know that I could count on her to answer the phone should I need to call her. Well, when I called her back like 3 hours later, because I was going to go that evening, she was crying and stuff. She goes, oh, well, I don't know how my brother will feel about it. I'm thinking, well, do you want the frickin' cat or not? I'll call you back tomorrow. That was Sunday. She was supposed to call me back. Never heard a word from her. I said, you know what? F this. I'm done. I'm going to go get that cat, and I'm going to find out if Ken's neighbor, Doug, who is currently feeding Buddy, wants him. So I took some treats over there, took the carrier over there this morning. Again, I had it already in my car. I got over there. This time Doug was home. Doug wasn't home Saturday when I went over there. So I knocked on the door. I'm talking to Doug. He goes, well, he said, I haven't seen Buddy this morning. I heard him getting a hell of a fight last night. There's a big time, and he went like this. There's a big tomcat running around here, and they got in a fight on my deck. He said, there's orange fur all over the deck. I'm like, holy crap. So we went around the side, and I'm looking at the lattice on the deck. Well, there's a couple holes in it. Well, there's orange fur all over around this hole. I said, well, he's been going in and out right there if you don't know that. Or look, he's like, well, the orange, and I hadn't noticed the orange fur was up on top of the deck, all over the deck. I'm like, oh my God, if he's hurt, he ain't never going to come out. Well, there's a pontoon boat stored right across the road. When I was there Saturday, where it's shrink wrap, basically, you can stick your head up under to the right side of the engine, and you can see up in the boat. Well, when I was talking to Doug, I said, I really think that's the place where he would be, especially with the rain we had yesterday. Well, sure as hell, walked over to the boat, same place I stuck my head up in there Saturday. Buddy, meow, meow. Well, he came right out, and he came right to me. Got him, he jumped down on the ground, and I was letting me pet him and stuff, and I'm giving him treats, and I was like, hey, Doug, let me go get the carrier, keep giving him treats. So I went and got the carrier, set it down. And Buddy sat there and sat there. Well, unfortunately, Doug doesn't know how to get a cat in the carrier. I should have been the one to grab Buddy because I know how to get a cat in the carrier. Well, Doug didn't tuck his front legs up underneath him and put his half body in before he pushed his butt in. Stuck his head in the carrier, and Buddy basically just pushed the carrier away with his front feet gone. He didn't run off. He just, I'll show you the picture that I took. Went over by Doug's garage and just kind of casually went around the house. So I left the carrier with Doug. Doug's been feeding him, like I said. Gave Doug my number, which was the simple solution to this whole thing in the first place. Give Doug my number. When Buddy comes around, get him in the garage where he's confined. We will get him in the carrier. Her and I can. So that's where we're at with Mr. Buddy. He's gonna be all right. I got to pet him. It was awesome.
He's fine.
He's fine. He did no injuries from the fight. He had a couple tufts of fur. Cat fights always sound worse than they really are generally, in our experience, which is a lot. That dude over there. Let me show you this, guys. Look at this lazy cat.
How is that comfortable?
How is that comfortable? Mr. Casey, but he was a feral. He was in a knockdown death match with Mr. Shelby 3 years ago. So
Yeah.
they learn to adapt. And one more thing about bringing Mr. Buddy here, had we not done what we did last year for Little Willow, you guys can have seen we have an open window there for the cats to go in and out. Well, the door's also open for the dogs to get in and out to their dog pen. Last summer, we brought Willow home on June 11th. From that point on, that window was shut, that door was shut. So all winter long, we had to let the cats in and out, the dogs in and out. And that sucks in the summertime.
Hello.
Yay, this year we can have the window open. Everybody's free to come and go. Hi, Willow.
Hi,
I don't know if you guys can see her. But that's the sweet little hissy kitty we found under the bridge last year. See if you can pick her up. Can you pick her up?
I'm gonna. If she'll let me. Don't be a brat.
This is a little tiny kitten I found under the bridge last year. But
Got
anyways,
stuff to do.
she's got other stuff to do, more important than us.
Yes.
But anyway, she's fixed now. She's free. She's been awesome. She's been sticking around here and stuff. Well, the issue is there's two issues with Buddy. He's always only been the only cat in the house, so he's a single cat household. Throwing him in the mix with all these guys, they could really traumatize him badly. And the other issue is we would have to close the window, close the door, because we don't have, honestly, guys, we only have half doors on our bedroom and stuff. It was just to keep the dogs in and out because we don't have forced air heat, so the doors never get shut. They have to be left open, heating with the wood stove. So we would have to close the windows and that door again, probably for a month. And even then, would it be safe to let Buddy out after a month? He might just say, "See ya, I can't stand being here," and we don't want to take that chance. So we're willing to let his daughter take Buddy at this point, unless somebody out there in Michigan would want Buddy and give him a great home, because I really don't think she deserves him at this point. Grow up, woman. She's a little younger than me, but just to be a babbling fool for this many days, it's like, step up. You have things you need to take care of. This is one of the responsibilities just as much as everything else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I know grieving, and I know that everybody grieves differently, and I understand, you know, that there's a lot of things when it's your dad. I get that. But, you know, there's also responsibilities. And, I mean, when my father passed away 6 years ago, on June...
I don't remember. What day is John Wayne's birthday? That's the day he passed away.
Yeah, which is fitting if you knew my father. But, you know, we were all devastated when my dad passed away. But guess what? When we got downstate, it was, okay, I'm going to make these calls. You have to get this stuff done. We had to call Social Security and his life insurance, and those things have to be done. You have to let people know that he has passed away. You've got to get that stuff in line. And you know what? You've got to do those things. There are responsibilities that go along with the death of a parent, unfortunately.
It's called adulting.
Yeah, it is. And yes, grieving is always a part of it, but there is a time when you just have to buck up and say, all right, I got to get this done and I got to face it.
Bottom line, guys, Ken did not talk to her very often. He did not talk about her very often. I knew of her. I knew of his son. I knew of another daughter, and there's another son that no one talks to. But bottom line, the second time I talked to her, I said, did you have any idea how ill or how much your dad's health had declined? And she said no. So what do you guys think she's dealing with? She's dealing with freaking guilt because she wasn't aware. She should have called. He was 79 years old. Why were you not calling? So I think she's just racked with guilt, not so much the depression of losing her dad, how sorry she feels for herself for not keeping in touch. So, but we'll let you know, guys. Doug is supposed to try to get Buddy into the garage tonight while he's feeding him. He can pick Buddy up, which is great. That helps so much. Put him in the garage, and then he's going to call me. So
Yeah.
there you are, guys. There's the whole Buddy story in a nutshell. There was way too much to try to talk about on the community page. That was just not going to happen. So,
But, you know, that's why not only was he Ken's cat, but we were the ones that rescued him from a bad situation in the first place. So, you know, we're not just going to leave him running around, and we're going to make sure that he goes, hi, Shadow, to a good home and that he's going to be properly taken care of. We made a promise.
and all the neighbors around there, from what they could see by all appearances, Buddy had been abandoned. Doug didn't even know I had been there on Saturday. So as far as they know, it's been 9 days since anybody even bothered with Buddy, which really made me feel horrible. That's why I made it as hard as it was to go over there, guys. Saturday was even more painful than the day he died. And swear to God, you pull up in the driveway, everything looks normal, and no, it's not. That was horrible. Today wasn't so bad. I cried a bit when I saw Buddy just because it was just overwhelming, but it was more happiness to see him okay. So, and now know that he's going to be taken care of somehow.
And that's the thing. We didn't just make a promise to Ken, we made a promise to Buddy.
Yeah.
And that is a promise that we're going to keep.
Hi.
And speaking of other things, some of you we have mentioned that some of our cats wander off on occasion, and after 6 days, 5 days, Chloe showed up this morning. Our little wanderer. I let the dogs out this morning, and when I went to let him in, she was just sitting there waiting to come in. I don't know where she goes. All I know is she was dry, so she went someplace where she should have.
Because it rained a lot.
A lot.
You can kind of see the river behind us, but we're not showing you the river because that's the next video
Yeah.
of what went on here yesterday.
That's the thing. When we take responsibility for an animal, we take responsibility for that animal. When you take an animal in, you make a promise to that animal that you are going to take care of them and you are going to keep them safe for the rest of their life. And that's what we're going to do.
So there you go, guys. Leave us any questions in the comments. We sure appreciate all your support through this horrible time. See ya.
Bye.